whatever, and you say something a bit controversial that might have something to do with them. Like, let's say you're like, oh, Israel and Palestine. You could be like, oh, Israel is invading Palestine. And then, like, let's say you apply to a job and your employer is, like, Jewish, and he might take offense to it and be like, yo, I'm not taking this person.
It's a good thing.
What?
It's actually good that he fired you.
Why?
Why would you be around someone who gets butthurt over the most tiniest thing you say?
That's true, but in certain environments, especially for work, you have to be very, like, non-biased.
I agree. But in those environments, would you really be happy or satisfied with what you do? Think about it. If you're in a position,
I would, because
let's say, okay, what's your dream job?
it'd be like working in finance.
Okay, so anything in particular, investment banking?
Broker? Like investments in like certain assets, like real estate or
okay,
bonds.
so an investor. You want to be a big time investor.
Yeah.
Let's say you can be a big time investor, but the only thing that you have to trade off to be a big time investor is your freedom of thought.
I'd be okay with that.
You'd be okay with that. You would sell your soul. I mean, you would sell your thoughts for the money, for the dollar.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's your philosophy.
Well, first off, my thoughts, like, I keep them to myself.
Yeah.
But if let's go off with what you said, like, have no thoughts at all, no opinions at all.
No opinions. Not no thoughts, but no opinions.
Let's say
of your own.
I'm okay with that.
You okay with that? I'm not. I disagree with you. I respect your opinion, but I disagree with you.
But the reason I say that is because, like, opinions can change day to day. And, like, you want to be open-minded and liberal. And in order to be open-minded and liberal, you have to have no opinions and listen to the opinions of others.
That's the thing. Like, we're trying too hard to be liberal. It's all right, let me
I mean, like, the real
first.
liberal.
Is headphones working or not?
I mean,
Yeah,
the
they
real
work. I
liberal,
haven't
not
turned
like the
them on
woke. Not that woke shit, you know?
All right, so this is how it works. The way it's set up is that this mic, put it in your mouth. You're gonna be able to hear yourself when I turn these headphones on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, got you.
Yeah. So what?
So is it gonna sound? Am I?
You're gonna hear yourself. You are. Okay, so this is four.
Hello.
Hold on a second. We have 4.
Yo, how does DJ Khaled wear his headphones?
You are 3. I am 1.
Oh, bro.
Can you hear yourself?
Hello.
Test. No.
You don't hear yourself? Hold on a second. You are. All right, Jared. Do you hear yourself? Speaking to the mic.
Hello. No.
No. How about now?
Hello.
One, two.
No.
No. That's weird.
Hello.
I hear you. Do you hear me through the mic?
Let me see.
Wait, through the mic or through the headphones?
Yeah, I mean through the headphones. My fault.
Say something.
You're.
No, I think it's the headphones
I
then.
hear you outside.
No. That's weird. Let's see. He's not all plugged. Hold on. I'm gonna reset this. I hear an echo. Do you hear an echo when you speak?
No.
Hello. No.
I hear you in here. All right, hold up.
Hello.
Maybe the headphones aren't plugged.
Hold on.
Oh.
Turn it off. You heard that, right?
Yeah, I
You
heard
heard that
that.
part? Okay, cool.
Okay.
So let's turn everything off.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, I kind of hear it now.
Hear
Hold on.
something, right?
Hello.
You are 4. You are 3.
Okay.
4, 3. Okay, remember your
4.
numbers.
Quattro.
Remember when I told you niggas at Stone Street were acting like dogs for those bitches?
Uh-huh.
Yo, I swear, bro. That's just like.
Do you hear yourself now?
Hello.
Yo.
Maybe it's the
Low
buttons
key.
in the bottom. The green
Yo.
button. Or not?
Can you hear me?
No.
I can hear you.
I mean, you could hear him outside.
Oh, wait. Do you hear Jared? Do you hear yourself?
Hello. I mean, I feel like I do, but it's very low. Hello.
Is this good? Hold on.
Hello. It's hard to distinguish what's like.
Your own voice versus what's in the mic?
Yeah, but I think it's working. You want to try?
Hold up. No, keep the headsets up. Do you hear me?
Say something.
I'm gonna fuck you up.
No, I can't hear that.
Can you hear that?
No, not through the headphones.
Wait, speak louder.
No, you have to hear me through the mic. I hear myself through the mic.
You hear yourself?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Can we hear what that sounds like? Like, let's use your.
Hey, let me see. Yeah. Speak something. Yeah, we hear. Yeah, you can hear. Yeah.
Let me see. Let me see.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he can
that's
hear
that's what it's
himself.
supposed to
Say
hear.
something. Yeah. That I
yeah,
did not
yeah.
hear that.
Yeah,
No?
yeah.
Really? Give me your mic. What number are you? 3. You're. Oh shit! What? You're. That's weird. That's actually weird.
Yeah. Hello.
I don't know what's wrong now. But maybe it's this.
What are those buttons?
There we yep, figured it out. Alright, here we go. I remember now. Alright, so 3 and 4. 3. Three is Kevin, right?
Hello.
Hold on.
Oh, there we go. 1, 2, testing. 1,
You
2,
hear that?
Can
testing.
you say something?
Yes, hello.
You hear Kev?
Yo. No, I don't.
Okay, you're 4, right?
Yeah.
Keep your headphones on.
Oh, I hear.
You
Yo.
hear us?
Nah, that audio is lit.
Yeah.
You hear it now?
I hear
Okay,
it.
I figured it out. Alright, cool.
Now we lit.
Nah,
Alright,
fuck
cool.
with that. Fuck with that. This is a professional podcast. Yo, I'm gonna take a flick of this.
It's been a while.
Like, man, at work.
That's why. Okay, cool. Things make sense now when you figure things out.
At work, yeah. 1, 2, testing. Making shit happen, Phil. Alright.
Alright, how's the volume? Is it good? Do you?
Yeah.
Alright,
I
so
think that's Gucci.
couple things. You can move this mic however you want. You know, pretend it's like a dildo and you're a porn star. So
Get
however you
comfy
want,
with it.
just get comfortable with it. I usually lean back and put it like right on my face, like when I
Right.
suck a meaty, juicy cock.
Hey, yo.
But yeah, just have fun with it. So this is the direct input.
Yo.
Yeah, we could hear Jared. You guys
Cool.
hear me? Loud
Yeah.
and clear?
You guys want the volume to be up more, or is
no,
it
that's
good?
good. That's
Good.
That's
All right, cool. Could you just check if I'm recording? No, I can see it.
I saw it's recorded.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
recording. I can see the reflection. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't think like, this shit is in the way though. Right there. You can't really see me. Shit's covering my face.
Kevin's like, we gotta see my pretty
Yeah,
face.
of course, you know that.
All right, yeah. So welcome to the second episode of my podcast. I'm your host Shang Wei, and I got my fellow guests. You guys can introduce yourselves.
Hello. My name is Kevin Reyes, born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. Currently, I am, I would say I'm just like an all-around entrepreneur. I'm interested in many things, fitness, business, finance, real estate, public speaking, a whole bunch of things. So, yeah, that's mainly what I'm about.
That's what's up. And
Yo, what's up, everyone? It's JJ Gotti. That's all that needs to be said.
all right, we got Kevin and JT Gotti. So before we start, I usually like to do a disclaimer.
Yep.
Right, that way you can say whatever the hell you want with no repercussions.
Mm-hmm.
This podcast may contain subjects or topics that may be offensive or insensitive in nature, or subjects of coarse language, and stories should be considered as banter. Therefore, this podcast should not be listened to. If you hear something that you do not like, feel free to turn this podcast off and just go about your day. All right, so that's enough of that. So, I know two of you guys and Maxim
Yep.
also were working on a podcast and YouTube channel, if I remember
Yep.
correctly. What's it? Serious Bullshit?
Serious Bullshit. So shouts out to Serious Bullshit. That's our up and coming podcast. We just talk about like a whole bunch of lifestyle, self development, game with women, and how to make money. Like it's an all around podcast to really like help people, especially younger men, especially to how to help themselves and reach the best version of themselves. That's our main goal in our podcast, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, we need more of that. I realize, even for me as a young man, it's hard for me to find mentorship that's proper and well. You know,
Right.
especially in today's society where it's like, oh, it's okay to be weak. It's okay to be emotional. It's okay to lack discipline. No, it's not okay to be 500 pounds overweight
Right.
and think that you are super attractive. Right? No, like you have to get a certain level of value in order to pertain that certain level of status as a man.
Right, yeah.
So, and you guys, what got you in the industry? What made you get into Serious Bullshit?
Get into Serious Bullshit. So, for one, I wanted to start something up where I wanted to create an asset, and I wanted to create something that will bring sort of like more publicity to ourselves.
Okay.
Right? I feel like through our experiences, our unique experiences, right? People could really find value in the things that we have to say. So I was like, oh, I don't want to keep this to myself. I want to share it with the world. I want to help the world become a better place. And I feel like that's one of my responsibilities, helping the world. Like if I don't do this, then I feel like the world will be worse off. So I feel like it's just my responsibility to, with everything that I've learned and through my experiences, to share that with the world, and hopefully people can come to realizations and they, become better versions of themselves and help in society overall. So that's why I got into it. I want to make a positive impact, and I'm sure like many of my colleague here, JJ Gotti, he has like similar ideas on that. Like, what would you say, bro?
Yeah, I totally agree. Like the podcast, I do it for myself, and I want to express myself. But then throughout the process, I realized, like, all these thoughts and ideas and opinions, they're also the same as what a lot of other people think. But they're just sometimes too afraid to say it, or you need to be able to word it in a certain way and express it to the world. And some people don't have that ability to word it and put it together. Okay. So I feel like I could be that voice to express these ideas and hopefully make a positive impact. Because as you said, I think right now, like the way society's structured, it's structured in it's changing really quick.
Yes, it is.
In the past 2 decades, it changed really quick. Like technology came out, there's information everywhere.
TikTok is fucking crazy.
I don't have TikTok.
Smart man.
Me neither, actually. Never downloaded the app, never.
But it's the same thing as Instagram Reels.
Yeah.
So you really can't escape that.
You can't escape the algorithm. That's how they built it. Like, you realize there's a problem with social media when there's more social engineers and when there are computer engineers.
Really?
Yeah. Dude, the people who make Facebook, they don't like not just Mark Zuckerberg, but the people below him as well. They don't let their kids play on Facebook after a certain amount of time because they know it's made by addictions.
Yeah.
Or made for your addiction. It's made to consume your attention.
Yeah.
Because in today's time, what I've noticed, the two most valuable things in this life outside of money, or that can produce money, is your time and your attention.
Right.
Okay. Think about it this way. Let's say, for example, this one celebrity, he gets all your attention, right? He gets all your time and attention. He can sell something or at least push a product.
Right.
And you wouldn't even notice, but you would subconsciously think about that, right? So all the things, all the colors, even the way the app is programmed and the way it's so smooth and the way it moves, it's all made for your dopamine, your attention.
Yeah.
I'll be frank with you. A lot of people, from what I know, are trapped in the idea of Instagram, TikTok, whatever kind of social media. Snapchat is a big thing.
Yeah.
Whatever kind of social media just consumes all their time and energy. I see people posting them going on vacations and everything, but when you have a proper conversation and from man to man or man to woman, woman to woman, whatever the case is, it's like talking to a brick wall. I swear to God. And that's disrespectful to that brick wall. That brick wall has more of a personality than this beautiful woman that I've been talking to. I'm like, what the fuck's the point? Like I assume that you're a culture, that you have some kind of personality, but at some point, like, you realize it's not even their fault. That's how they're programmed. Especially now when we have kids, it saddens me when you see 5, 8-year-olds who are addicted with their phones.
Yeah,
because you know for a fact it's going to take them years as an adult to get rid of that addiction.
Right.
Like another big thing is like young men with porn.
Right.
Right. So I'll be frank. It took me 3 years to beat my porn addiction.
Oh,
it's one of the hardest things I ever did in my entire life.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, it's not easy, and it's with anything really. Like any habit that you want to break or any habit that you want to start doing. Like say if you want to start going to the gym, or you want to stop watching porn, right? Like, you
say it like that.
Yeah, because I don't know if we're going on Twitch or anything. But like those type of things, right? Like you need to first find a way to discipline yourself and find self-control before you could go out and say like, oh, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, because you can attempt to do that, but if you don't have that self-control, self-discipline, or even that reason as to why you want to do this, then you can attempt it as many times, but you're always going to relapse. And then that's the issue, right? And it's like, how do I build the self-discipline? How? Well, you got to take it step by step. You see, most people, and I'm not saying it's bad to have like big goals or anything like that, right? But sometimes these goals are just too out of reach at the moment that you have to start thinking like, okay, what can I do as of today? What can I do as of this week to really just make a little difference, right? Or make it just a difference into my self-discipline, right? So like I could say like, okay, I'm gonna start waking up at this time for this week, this exact week, no days failed, right? And if I can't do it this week, then next week, but I will have to do it either this week or next week, but I will do this, right? Like wake up at 5 in the morning, say, right? Wake up at 5 in the morning every day, Monday through Friday, and start with something like that. And then slowly but surely, say you keep doing that, you keep building that, you keep building that momentum. Now you're building that self-discipline. Now you're like, okay, so now that I've done this, now 5 a.m., I'm going to go to the gym also. And then you keep building that, and then over time, you're going to see that it's much more easier for you to maintain these habits that you want to build, and also to stop those bad habits, those negative habits, like watching porn. I mean, you see, because like watching porn, like even for me, like it's been very hard. Like I still suffer through sometimes, right? Like although like I have a mentality where like I don't need to be watching porn. Like I know, right. It's just like once in a while, it's just like, oh, like, you know, you feel like you have this mindset where it's like, oh, it's like I don't see nothing bad with it.
One more wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, one more wouldn't hurt, right? But like beneath though, like subconsciously, you know that there's something that's bad about it. That you feel it, but you want to like almost like ignore that feeling, but you know it's bad, but you do it anyway. You see, that's the self-control aspect of it. Like if you can master that, and it goes deep. It goes deep with your own thoughts, your self-conscious. Like you really need to really think about these things.
It's how you talk to yourself.
Yeah, it's your own self-talk. And I know David Goggins, one of the, actually I think I was gonna tell you about this also, because he was in the Air Force too. So he could probably be someone that you want to like look into.
You see that bald black guy who was like 500 pounds? I respect him. I think he's a crazy madman, and that's why I respect the shit out of him.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing.
Like, have you read his book? Oh, Can't Hurt Me?
I haven't read him yet. I've seen him on talks and everything.
Oh, yes.
I agree with what he says. He has this mindset of just pure discipline. Like, he knows for a fact that he can be anything that level of discipline. And I frankly agree 100%.
Right.
Like, to a lot of people, that sounds crazy. Like, At one point in my career, well, for those who don't know, I used to be I was in real estate for 1.5 years, almost 2 years now, and now I've decided to join the Air Force.
Right.
We're actively working on it, right? But while I was in the real estate industry, I was waking up at 4:30 and going to bed at 8:00, right, every single day, right, and meal prepping, counting all my calories, meal prepping everything. But the thing is, the first couple months sucked ass.
Right.
Right. The only reason why I started waking up at 4:30 is because I knew I had to. Right. It's the gym.
Yeah.
As a man, I think every man should consistently go to the gym.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like it builds. That's how the most entry level way to get into discipline.
Oh yes.
Because you
100%.
have that level of discipline, you have the level of consistency, and you put in the hard work, and that applies to every aspect of your life. Right? You just keep going. There were days where it's butt shit cold outside, snowing. I put on my damn boots, put on my bag, and just go to the gym. Right, and it's not even sun outside. I come back outside. Get back home by 7:30. I'm having my second breakfast, and people are just waking up.
Yeah.
There's some level of confidence that comes with that, where you know by the time most people wake up, you already got a lot of shit done.
Right.
But yeah, I'll have to say, the one thing I like the way you think. I'm gonna add one thing I don't necessarily agree upon is, I would say more of the self-talk, right?
No.
Let's say, for example, you do relapse, right?
Yeah.
But if you talk to yourself in a negative way, that constantly say, "Oh, why the fuck? I'm a piece of shit. I'm this and that." You become your thoughts, right? Let's say in this brief moment you're depressed, right? But if you say, "I'm depressed," if you identify yourself as depression, you become depression.
Right.
But if you instead of saying that, you can say, "Okay, in this brief moment, I feel that level of sadness." But that sadness is not me. It's just an incremental moment of my life at this current time. And then you disassociate yourself from that emotion.
Right. No, yeah, that's true. I mean, like that's another book that I remember reading, The Power of the Subconscious Mind. I don't know if you guys have heard of that book, but that book also, that's already 2 books, Can't Hurt Me and The Power of the Subconscious Mind, to look into. But this one book in particular, it talks all about that. It talks about auto-suggestion. Like, when you suggest something to your brain, it subconsciously like feels like it's true, and it turns into outward like it turns into reality outwardly, right? So if you really think like almost like affirmations, right? So if you really think like, oh, I am confident, I am confident, I am confident, I am powerful, and you really like you suggest it to yourself, to your brain subconsciously, like sooner or later it's gonna turn into reality.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
If you lie to yourself that you're a fucking top G.
Yeah.
Don't lie to yourself that you're a piece of shit.
Exactly. You see, it's like, why would you suggest that?
If you're gonna lie, make it a good lie.
Damn straight.
That's right. That's right.
You know, there's
That's
another
true.
word for that.
No.
The law of attraction.
The law of attraction. Yeah. Yeah, it goes deep. It
I
goes
think
deep.
me and Kevin were talking about this before. Was it JJ Rod?
JJ God.
JJ God.
JJ God.
Before JJ God came in, the idea of the law of attraction.
Yeah.
You heard of it? Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something. What I realized is that it works in every aspect, right? Money, success, woman, whatever you want in life, you're naturally attracted. So, for example, the three of us, right?
Yeah.
There's no weird reason why we're not. There's a reason why we're here at this moment. It's because we all want to better ourselves.
Yeah.
So we take steps to get out of our comfort zones and do things that could promote ourselves in a positive way, right? That's why I build Shang Wei with No Way,
Right.
because I want to build my personal brand and build a legacy for myself. And frankly, generations come, anybody who's associated with Shang Wei or No Way is going to have that top level of status. But in the beginning parts, it's going to be difficult.
Yep.
And that's what a lot of people don't understand. Right. Again, that's why I go back to. I'm gonna give a lot of shit to Instagram and TikTok, and don't get me wrong. I'm in the hole
I
myself.
agree with you.
Like you see all these people posting, going to fancy restaurants,
Yep.
taking these expensive vacations, but then they're depressed.
Yeah.
Right. The more I realize, the more you
very true.
post, the more you show off. Like, hey, look, I got this and that,
I-
the less you have.
I think that
Mhm.
comes from not you. That feeling doesn't come from social media, but that feeling is promoted through social media. So you're probably already going through something. Maybe you're like insecure, or maybe you're depressed, or you're just not satisfied with your life, and you feel the need to kind of prove it to the world that, oh, look at me, I'm doing this and that,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So I feel like these people already feel that way. It's not really social media making them feel that way, but social media ends up being the
Amplifier.
output. Yeah, the amplifier, exactly. And you know, we have to address the root problem. You know, why are people feeling this way, right?
That's a good question.
I
Actually.
mean, why are people feeling depressed? And well, maybe that it's like a self-fulfilling thing, because maybe they see that other people on Instagram are posting all of these things, like, oh, they're on boats, they're on vacations, they're, you know, a lot of money, a lot of success, and maybe they see that and they're like, oh, I'm not like that, I'm not up to that yet, you know.
Yeah,
and that's what makes them depressed.
Yeah, to add on to what you said, I remember listening to older generations like millennials, because they're older than us, like 30-year-olds, you know.
Yeah,
That's still pretty young, you know.
Yeah.
30
That's
years-
extremely young.
Yeah.
But you know, I hear these 30-year-olds talk, and they're like, oh, I'm on TikTok, Instagram, but they're watching like these reels, these TikToks of young people like 20, 21, 25, and they're extremely successful. We don't really know, but they portray themselves as really successful on boats with luxury cars, and then they kind of start to feel like, oh, I'm like getting left behind, you know. I'm not. It's gonna take even longer for me to catch up, and I'm no longer that young. But the truth is, like, that's what made me realize, like, wow, social media isn't just negatively impacting like younger generations, it's also negatively impacting these older generations, because they're seeing how the younger generations
This is true.
are living this like false life,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, that's not me, you know, I just missed the opportunity to do that and be that successful, you know.
That's interesting. That goes back to self-talk. It's how you talk to yourself.
Yeah.
KFC, my favorite fast food chain, better than Popeyes. I don't care what y'all say. KFC. Colonel Sanders, he didn't make KFC since he was 70 years old.
Oh yeah.
He lived.
Remember hearing that? Yeah.
He lived most of his life not at that level of success, right? I think it was Barbara Corcoran who said this. If you can't make it in your 20s, you can make it in your 30s. If you can't make it in your 30s, you can't make it in your 40s. The thing is, we all run this marathon of life, right? But at the speed of rate which you run at is up to you.
Yeah.
Some people initially, like I've seen a lot of kids like back in high school, back in college.
High school, yeah.
I see them. I would assume they would be super successful by the way they're working, by the way they're running, by the way they carry themselves, the amount of shit that they have on their table. I talk to them now, This is gonna age me. I'm 21, by the way. For most of who don't know, I talk to them now, and they're not at the level which I thought they were. And when I speak to them now, they constantly talk about the good old days, and I look at them like, what the fuck?
Yeah, me and Kev talk about the good old days all the time.
Right.
I'll be frank. Back in high school, I was the type of kid who worked 3 jobs, didn't have a social life, and was just getting by.
Right.
Yeah, I was smart enough to like sit in the back, pay attention, do the test, and still come late to school. And still fly by for 85 GPA.
Mm-hmm.
That was who I am, right? But at the same time, for me, my priority was making money because I was still living in Brownsville,
Yeah.
right? I had to get out of Brownsville, bro. And that's the most uncomfortable thing I did in my life, moving out of Brownsville. But it has made me into the man I am today.
Yeah.
It's always those
Yeah.
moments where we get out of
Amen.
our comfort zones that would truly make us the man who we are. Right? No matter what it may be. If you're in a toxic, like man or woman, this is like asynonymous gender.
Right,
But
right.
I'm gonna say man. When I say man, I mean mankind.
Mhm.
I don't just
Not
mean like
everybody.
males.
Mm-hmm.
As a man, you should always put yourself in a situation where you can get better. Not in a situation where you have to like just constantly take hits to yourself to put yourself on a lower level. Like I've seen this a lot with marriages.
Yeah.
Right. One of my biggest things is like marriage. You have who you marry in this life is super important. Right. I don't care like whatever gender, whatever race, or that's like physical attributes. Those are arbitrary. What matters is their mindset. If you marry someone who's going to be toxic, constantly put you down, what's the point?
Right.
Right? To break it simpler, if you're in a relationship with someone who constantly puts you down, doesn't matter how beautiful they are or like how much money they have, you're going to hate your life, right? You might not realize it now, but perhaps 20 years later, you're going to realize, oh, shit, I spent 20 years with this person that I just can't stand by.
Damn.
And they've been treating me a certain type of way, and I just didn't realize until now. That's just the way of life.
Right.
It do be like that sometimes.
But why do you feel like that? Why do you feel like a person would go through that and then come to that realization 20 years later?
It's 2 things. Well, firstly, I think it's heavily to do with maturity. Secondly, it's environment.
The environment.
I don't think anybody should get married pre-35.
No, I feel like
Nobody should get 30 before they're 35 years old. You are not a proper person.
I would say I disagree with that. I feel
Okay.
like, there's other cultures where you get married at a young age,
Right.
as young as 18. But here in the Western culture, you get married like after you're 30, and then you have kids 35. But I think that's bad because you have to figure out who you are, and you have so many opportunities to meet different people, and you're not spending time getting to know yourself and growing. But that's why I say if you get married young, let's say 25, you create this stability in your life because life goes by quick, and you have to create this stability quick, right? Like have a stable home, be able to go to work, and then have a rough day and come home and like you speak to someone like your significant other, your wife, and she's there supporting you, helping you just feel good after a bad day. And you need that type of support when you're young, when you're in your peak, about to like catapult into your career, right? Because it's I'd say it's pretty difficult trying to accomplish high level things on your own.
I agree.
Think about
I mean,
successful people like Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos. They all, although they're divorced now, in the beginning, in their early 20s, early 30s, they had that solid bedrock foundation. They had this significant other where, it doesn't matter, who, because you're going to talk to so many people, you're going to go to so many meetings, and, people come and go, but you need to have that one person that's there to support you. And that's what these people had, Bill Gates had, Melinda Gates, she was there from the beginning, and without her, Bill Gates probably wouldn't have gone as far. I remember there's this quote. It's behind every great behind every great man, there's a great woman.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
And it could go vice versa,
Yeah.
That's an interesting concept. I like the idea. I disagree, by the way, but I like the
Yeah.
idea. I like that you like stability.
I-
I think that's the main thing that you're
I
pushing.
think you
for,
could
so-
agree. You could agree or disagree. It really depends on like your own personality. Maybe you're completely okay being alone.
It's your values at the end of the day. You
Yeah.
value a stable going home to someone every day, having that a nice warm meal, or someone who's like going to support you who you are,
Exactly.
right? But for me, at this current point, I don't need that. Because
I guess you could say I'm more like a long-term thinker, and I would say I have like strong family values.
sure, yeah,
Right.
So
I mean, can I just add something to that? Actually, though, like a quick question, right? So, like, when you're coming up, right, especially in like this current day and age, right? I would personally say, like, even through my experiences, like, it's pretty hard to find someone like that that's willing to back you up, right?
bro. At our age,
Yeah, right.
Good luck,
It's
bro.
like to find someone with a similar mindset as you, and it's not impossible, you know. But
it's rare.
but I feel like you'll probably like waste more time trying to look for that than actually doing what you're going to do, right? What you're like looking to get successful in, right? And if you just dedicated all your time into just being successful, and then once you're successful, then you bring on like say a partner to help you on from there. Because think about it, right?
but that's what I'm saying. Like, can you
What?
actually be successful without a partner? Because
I mean, why not?
you're gonna go through
Can
a
you?
lot. You're gonna go through a lot of stuff trying to be successful. You're gonna have to talk to a lot of people, hear a lot of no's. You're gonna be in a lot of difficult situations. You're gonna have to put yourself in difficult situations. You know, you're gonna have to just risk it all sometimes. And to do that by yourself, that's pretty hard. You know, that's like a lot of pressure and stress. We're human
I
beings.
agree.
We're
Okay.
human beings. We're meant to be social creatures and animals, right?
Yes.
You can't just like have a meeting with like, I don't know, like a client, and then they give you some bullshit, and then you go home and like you don't have no one to vent to, or
Okay.
you don't have someone to like uplift you when you feel shitty, right? So can you really make it that far without a partner like that? Probably not.
That.
But
Maybe you
okay.
could, maybe you can't. Probably not.
But let me ask something. In those moments where, let's say, you do get hit down, you get a shitload of stress, that pressure is intense. I think that's a good thing. That's a great thing to have. Because in those moments, you see what kind of man you are, what kind of person you are. You really have two options. You either get up, if throw a punch back, or you just
Yeah.
lie down and take it. Either or, right? But you always have a choice. It's a binary choice, right? So in that moment, I think what you choose really dictates who you are, right? It doesn't matter who you go home to, because you can go home to someone who's fantastic and wants to like support you, uplift you. But if you don't want to lift yourself up, if you don't want to help yourself out, how would you expect anybody to do that,
Thanks.
right? Many moments where I want to help people, but they don't want to help themselves. And these people are like 30, 40 years old. And I'm not doing it because I don't like them. I'm not doing this because I like them. I'm doing it because I work with them and I want to see them be successful as me. Right? I'm in the mindset where if I'm successful, I want everybody around to be fucking successful.
I agree.
Right? Because eventually, I mean, I want to have I call this a mini frat house, but what it is a small contained room of hardworking men, like just extremely ambitious hardworking men. Like I plan to buy a house somewhere in Brooklyn. We all drop $500K. We all like five bedroom, 5 bath. All work out a lot. All either work on businesses or super hardworking in our careers. Like, but we all have to have that mindset, and we all keep each other accountable.
Yeah.
Right. And you can find that in a woman or a significant other, a partner, but you can also find it in a brotherhood.
Yeah.
No, that's true.
Actually, that's great that you brought that up, because that is what I'm trying to say. You need to have just solid people around you. You know, have like a group of guys or girls, you know, that are there that think like you, and that's really good.
That
So
part I agree with.
Yeah.
I don't fully. I agree with that part. I just don't like the idea of it has to be a significant other. I
Alright.
could take that or leave it.
The,
You know
the
what I
only
mean?
reason I say significant other is because you know, people come and go,
Mhm.
right? There's
You want someone consistent in your
yeah,
life.
yeah. People have just different ideas and missions. And long term, though, when you think long term, what's that? That's family. That's children, right?
Yeah.
So when it comes to long term, I'd say investing in a partner is very important. Not having a brotherhood or very good friends is also important. But in the long term, what's gonna take you in the long term to success? I think finding a really strong partner is.
Okay. I think finding a strong a strong part that gives me more happiness and success.
Yeah, I mean, you could say, right? Like, if you're more happy, you feel better, you have like more, I guess, energy to go out there and make shit happen for yourself. I guess that's like what the point you're trying to
Perhaps
make.
the
Like,
question is, how do you define success? Let's start over there. What is your definition of when you see yourself successful? What do you see?
All right, my definition of success is leaving something behind for the future generation that creates a positive impact.
So a legacy.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, a legacy, I didn't want to use the word legacy because a legacy is kind of like more like for yourself.
Mhm.
Like that's my legacy. Like this is like my statue under my name,
Okay.
But when I mean leave something behind for future generations, it doesn't necessarily have to be under your brand name. It
Mhm.
could be just
Something that you built.
something that you built. You
Mhm.
don't need recognition for it, but you
Okay.
just know that you made a positive impact on the world, and it doesn't have to be credited to you.
Mhm.
A legacy is more like, yeah, he did that. It's under his name.
Really? Okay, that's not what I think about. I think of legacy. For example, I think Einstein's legacy it led to Stephen Hawking. It's by nuclear, or the whatever. I don't understand the physics, but the nuclear energy ideas that he came up with, I think that's his legacy,
right.
right? And for me, a legacy. I agree. I have something. My idea of success was the same thing
Yeah.
as you. I wanted to build a legacy, right? I want to build a world where everybody is constantly working on the better selves instead of falling into the trap of consumerism, where they constantly okay, this is obviously bullshit. The rest of these sheep can do this bullshit, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna go the other way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But that takes time, right? And I know for a fact, like it could be under Shango or Norway, it could be under the country away, whatever Bob Pablo, whatever it is. The name is arbitrary to me. I just like Shango or Norway because it's the funniest. But
No, I like it.
It's
a
just-
very catchy name.
yeah, it's something that I made, but that can propel future or previous generations forward. Something that moves society forward, and that's what we don't see anymore. Because
That's why we're on this podcast.
that's why on this that's why Shanghai Know is the best
Yeah.
podcast.
That's a fact.
No, but that's what I realized about people who are at the level of success and wealth. They stop looking at other people as people. They look at people as numbers.
Numbers
Really?
That's what I realized.
or
yeah.
like opportunities.
Numbers. Yeah, like not even opportunities, just fucking pure numbers.
I would disagree. Like if you were to sit down and meet with someone extremely successful, I feel like in order to be a successful individual, you have to have certain characteristics, and one of those characteristics is just being able to treat a person equal, like
Mhm.
disregard how much money you have, how much money they have, what family you come from, what family they.
Like be able to relate with them.
Yeah, just be able to relate with them. Just be very respectful, right?
Mhm.
And that way you're able to create a more personal relationship, and you're able to actually like see who this person really is, right? Because in like business, for example, you'll run into anyone,
Mhm.
and you'll be completely caught off guard, right? You could be waiting in line at McDonald's, and someone could be like, it could be a Sunday morning, and they dressed a little bit bummy in McDonald's getting breakfast, but they could be someone extremely successful, right? That's
Mhm.
why you have to always treat people with respect.
I agree.
And sometimes people, have a lot going in their life, so
You don't know.
regardless, you don't know, right? So that's why I think you have to treat people like people, and everyone's different, and you have to respect that. And that's how successful people get far in life, because they're able to just connect with so many different people. But if you're treating people based on biases and your own opinions, that's not going to take you far, right? We're living in a world where we're globalizing more. We're
Mhm.
connecting countries together. People from around the world are what's it called?
More connected,
More connected,
more
yeah.
integrated.
More integrated, exactly. So you have to be open-minded, and you have to just be able to relate to all these different people. But if you just have a biases and you want to stick to your own biases,
Yeah.
you're
Mhm.
not going to branch out and expand.
No, I mean, yeah, that's a good point. I see where you're coming from with that, right? Like you do have to like a certain point, like you can have like your own opinions, your own thoughts on like whatever you might think about like certain situations, but at the end of the day, you just gotta respect everybody and what they own think, what they think themselves, right? But I think the point that we were trying to get at was that like, yeah, that could help you when you're upcoming, right? When you're coming up, right, to success. that you don't judge anybody, you just do what you do, and you stay in your own path. You can still relate. It doesn't matter. This person could be the complete opposite of you, but you can still like have a good conversation with them. A respectful conversation with that person, right? But I think it is what happens is that once you reach that level of success, once you like worked so hard, worked your ass off, you're just like at the top. Like once you get to the top, then your mentality changes. Then you're like, oh, this person hasn't worked. At least I see it like that, because sometimes like I may feel like that, and there's nothing that like, oh, like
It's not personal. It's never
yeah, it's
personal.
nothing personal, right? It's just like, oh, I've put in more work than you, and you haven't put in more work than me. You see, so I feel like that, like it's sort of is an ego thing, although you try to not make it of it. But I feel like that's when the person at the top, their mentality changes, and that's when they're like, oh, I only see this person as a number. You see, because I've reached this level of success,
It's always an ego
right?
thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's always,
most of the time,
40
it is
laws of power is just ego.
the ego,
It's how
right?
to deal with a human ego, to
Yeah.
put it shortly.
Yeah,
For example, my first brokerage, one of the brokers I spoke to, top dog.
right.
He's definitely a millionaire. He closes, $1 million deals in trifectas every other day. That's the type of man I'm talking to.
Right.
I was asking him some advice, and he was telling me that he doesn't see clients as people anymore. He sees them as numbers.
Right.
And working in real estate, this is one of the most client-heavy, relationship-heavy based businesses in the world, or in any industry, right? My business thrives on my relationship with my client. Most clients become your friends,
Yeah, exactly.
right? But if you see people as, and unfortunately, he doesn't have a choice. There's just too many damn people, right? You can't befriend everybody,
Right.
right? There's 8 billion people on the planet Earth. Let's say you only like 10% of people. What is that? Like 8 million? 80
Mhm.
million?
Yeah, that's a
Right?
lot.
That's still a lot of people. How many people do you think you actually have a one-to-one good, somewhat decent relationship with?
Right.
75 maximum.
Yeah.
Your brain only has the capacity for 75 people in your life.
No,
Right.
That's a fact.
And it's also New York, bro. There's so many damn people on this little island, and it doesn't really matter. Like, for example, I've screamed stupid shit on the streets, right? I've yelled, "Can I yeah? Oh yeah!" on the streets multiple times. Some people say it back, some people don't. But I still go about my day like nothing happened, and nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, have
Right.
fun.
Yeah,
No,
but
that's
also, the reason why I say like these people don't look at these people at this level of status and power don't look at others as people but as numbers. I was doing a little bit of research on luxury hotels, and they were talking to me about how they have these super elite Russian oligarchies, people with high billing years, multi-billing years, people with high positions of power. They rented out this hotel for 2 days, 250 grand for 2 nights, right? And they just
Right.
essentially turned it into an orgy fest,
Oh shit.
right?
Where's my invite?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. So it got to the point. He was the manager at that hotel, and he was just telling the story. He was saying how there was this one instance. People who are at the front desk, they typically are more attractive. It's a visual stance. It's strategic, but
Yeah.
your most attract people up front, where you have to, typically white, good English speakers, attractive peoples, right?
That's why I'm always in the back office.
Damn straight. Yeah, but there was this one beautiful, busty woman who was at the front desk, and this person approached her. He's like, "Hey, look, if I give you X amount of money, would you come to my hotel for the night? Basically, I'm going to pay you to have sex with me. Are you down or not?"
Yeah.
Right, in simple English. At the time, the manager was there. She's like, "No, I don't want to do it." But, when she looks at the camera at fucking 3 in the morning, she was leaving his hotel room.
Oh shit.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
Another story. They had this one couple in this one room, right? They were only had sex when there was housekeeping inside the room.
It's weird.
It's a fetish, bro.
What?
You know what I mean? And when they talk to you, if you're not the center of their attention, you're like, they will go ape shit on you. I've worked as a doorman in some luxury buildings, and especially with, I hate to say it, it's always the young, beautiful woman. The young, beautiful 20, 21-year-olds who have sugar daddies. They're so entitled. It becomes to the point like, you are super pretty, but after you open your mouth, I want to shoot myself in the left toe. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they're super pretentious, super posh. Don't get me wrong, they They probably spend more money on one night than I do in a year, right? Good for them. But at the same time, what the fuck is the point of your life? Like, once that beauty is gone, when you hit like 30, 35, 40 years old, you've been used up like a rag doll. You have no more value.
Right.
And there's also like statistic. I think in 2030 or 2050, there's gonna be the most amount of single women on planet Earth than there's ever been on this history of Earth.
What year?
What?
Like 2030, 2050
Oh,
around
I'm
that
gonna
time.
be 30 by then.
Yeah, bro. Have fun.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
We have no values. There's no value of what it is to be a man, what it is to be a woman anymore. Personally,
Yeah.
I think feminism went too far. Don't get me wrong, like, I love the feminists, but now it becomes to the point where women have more rights. If women want more rights and less accountability,
Right.
right? They want this. They're saying, like, they get more opportunities in college. They get more opportunities and everywhere just because by the way they look. They have that initial attraction.
Well, hold on. I
Go
mean,
on.
I disagree and agree. I don't think the feminist movement is to blame. Like, there's certain parts of it that obviously were good,
Mhm.
But the main thing is like we can't ignore the fact that we also play a role in this.
Definitely. I'm not
Right?
saying we are.
There is someone out there paying
for.
for this type of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Right. There is that sugar daddy. He's the one paying it. He's a guy.
Right.
He's feeding into this.
If you were 70 years old, yeah, billions of dollars to splurge. Would you not have a couple?
Right.
Nah, probably
I
not.
know I would.
Nah. But the thing is, I think it has
just put
down.
down the
It comes down
internet,
to values, like you said,
Yes.
values.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be religious values, but it could just be
Mm.
like values that you have. And I think nowadays, it's not something that's really taught at home, at school. In fact, if anything, we're being taught bad values, like
Mhm.
do
Yeah.
drugs, be
Be
hyper capitalist, be really into money,
Right.
be very materialistic, and be consumers.
Yep.
So when we're taught these values, like those become that becomes us, and we're not being taught other values like family comes first, build healthy relationships, and treat people with respect, be values that you can take from like certain religions that you can apply to your life. It doesn't have to be like you don't have to be
yeah, you
believe
don't have
in
to be
that
religious, but they have good principles to have.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So I think we need those principles, and I don't think the feminist movement changed that, but I think certain people that were in that, just kept pushing and pushing.
It's a radical feminist.
Yeah, but at that point, I wouldn't even call them feminist. I would just call them like
Karens.
no,
Snowflakes.
like, I don't know, like degenerates, like I don't know, like nowadays you see what's out there for kids, what kids are watching, and the
Jesus
stuff that
Christ.
they're watching,
Mhm.
Yeah.
the stuff that they're watching, is really, I wouldn't agree with it, and yet no one's like blinking an eye, no one's like saying, oh, this is bad,
It's easy to not blink an eye. It's easy to give your kid an iPad so she doesn't cry rather than like tell him that, punching someone in the face for no reason is bad.
and then you don't
Right.
know what they're looking at, on the iPad. But actually, this is a great segment into this other conversation on, like, shootings. We just had a shooting in was it Monterey Bay?
Oh yeah, with the
Los
Asians, yeah.
Angeles.
That's
And-
my people's.
Oh
Yeah, and
California.
everyone's, we've had a lot of shootings, and everyone says like, oh, why do shootings happen? Why is our society producing this type of individual?
Mm-hmm.
But I think what I believe in is that, it all starts off from a young age where we desensitize children from
Violence.
violence,
Yeah.
right? We had little kids playing Modern Warfare when they're like 11, right? And these games get more graphic and graphic as the years go by, right?
I mean, but we've had violent video games since a long time.
there
you
was
know?
actually, sorry to cut you off.
But not as
Wait.
realistic as we have today.
Maybe
But-
not as
wait,
realistic,
hold
but
on.
the idea is still there as to like, oh, I'm gonna kill someone with a gun.
But it's
right?
different than seeing it in first point of view and having it super accurate to real life. And
Yeah.
and also what I was gonna say, in my
Okay.
psychology class, we saw this video, this experiment done, where basically there's this kid, and he's being taught to like hit this punching bag,
Okay.
like this punching bag that has like the figure of a clown. So he's taught to punch that punching bag,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like he has no violence experience. It's just a little kid punching the bag, and the little kid like he just pushes it. Really doesn't punch it. Then in the second experiment,
the kids are first taught, like they first visually see violence. They see the experimenter hit the clown, hit the punching bag, use tools and weapons, and then they tell the kid, all right, now you do it. But now that kid,
After seeing that,
mimics what they saw, right?
Okay.
Monkey see, monkey do.
Right,
It's
right,
not that
right.
hard. It's not
Okay.
science. It's kind of common sense. You teach a kid to do this, obviously they're gonna go ahead and think it's okay to do it,
Right.
right? So we're teaching these kids like, here are these violent video games. You get to punch people. You get to kill people with guns. And then what do you expect? You don't expect them to have violent
Yeah.
tendencies or to have to not be able to distinguish what's right and wrong when no one's sitting down there telling them this is right, this is wrong.
Yeah, that's the worst case scenario. Best case scenario is they get desensitized to all that shit. Like, I hear school shootings all the time, man. I'm at the point where I'm like, it's like another Monday.
Exactly.
Just hopefully it doesn't happen at FDR.
And I think that ties back to just having no values, right? If we had values, we wouldn't be teaching kids violence, killing people. Like what kind of society do we live in where killing people on a video game is like fun, right?
Mhm. So what's your recommendation?
Like, you think that's
then?
fun to other people in other countries that actually have to go through that shit? Hell no.
I mean, right.
But we're over here promoting it. We live in a first world country. We're so ungrateful. We're promoting this type of shit.
Yeah, most people don't have any values because they've never been through shit.
Right.
You realize that people who I realized when I went to school in Buffalo.
Yep.
Right. These are all middle class people.
Right.
And they were the ones who were listening to the most amount of rap music, just people about like gang shootings and everything. I'm like, bro, you live in the suburbs and your parents make $200,000 a year. You will never face any of this bullshit in your entire life.
Right.
And me, actually, like, I saw some of that bullshit. That shit is not fun.
But I agree. I agree with what you're saying. Like, you come from a nice neighborhood, nice family, but yet you yourself are promoting these values, and you're like,
It's paradoxical.
and you like these values, right? Even though you come from a good family, a good background, you still like these values, and you're promoting it. Like, that's a big
want
red
to
flag.
be part of it. It's almost like you want to be part of it because you think like society promotes this because it's like cool, and like you want to be like cool regarding that. Like you also want to go through that, or like you also want to like, because you see people like they'll be like, oh, drill music, right? They gonna post it on the blog or whatever, right? And then be like, oh, I want to do that too. I think that's cool myself. Everybody my age thinks that's cool. I want to be part of that, and that is what like. Then they have that mindset where they want to get involved with that, and they don't know, what really they're getting into.
They don't. They
Right.
have this falsified fictional idea of what something is.
Yeah,
Right? They think like being a gangster is cool.
right,
Being part of the mob is cool.
right.
Right. That's not cool, bro. Like, you at any given moment, you're always super hyper alert, just to make sure you're alive.
Yeah, no, that's no joke.
Yeah.
So wait,
It's not a good feeling.
So what? Oh, my son JJ Gotti. What would be your recommendation for people to change and to not like have values and like really like?
What do you think is a core value that's missing in today's society?
A core value that's all right. So those are like two separate questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Core value, I'd say, is there's a lot.
First thing that comes to mind.
Let's see, a core value. It's got to be really like strong.
No pressure.
I'd probably say one core value everyone should have. You have to
Take your time, man. Take your time. I know. There's a lot that could be. There's a lot that people need.
Yeah, there is.
Right?
If it makes it easier, I can give you one of my core values I think everybody should need.
Sure.
Yeah.
Self-control and discipline.
That's a good one.
It's just something that everybody needs, but no one talks about.
But I'm thinking of a core value that like isn't even out there, that's not being promoted yet. So I'd probably say
It's personal. It's not something that has to change the world. It's just what you think. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just what you think.
I feel like we need more long-term thinkers. That's a very strong core value that's missing. We have I've met people that say like, oh, I live day to day. Like I don't plan out my life like a week in advance.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And there's people that like, they don't think about their actions. when they should be thinking about their actions long term, right? Like, oh, if I pick up this Miley, this nicotine vape, like I'll hit it right now. It'll make me feel good right now. But long term, what's it gonna do to my health long term?
Yeah.
What's it gonna do? How's it gonna change me emotionally and mentally long term, right? So I think a long term value is something people need to have more.
We're not long-term thinkers. We just want that short-term dopamine hit.
Yeah.
But that's yeah.
That's why we're all addicted to fucking porn.
And TikTok and Instagram.
But that sort of ties into what he said about self-control, because like if you don't have that self-control to think long term, then you're not gonna think long term.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm also
Right.
going to add on to what was it, JJ God?
JJ Gotti.
JJ Gotti, my fault. JJ Gotti.
You could just call me Jay for
Jay?
short.
I'll just call you Jay. It's simpler. So, Jay, I'm also going to add to what you think, but
My bad.
you long term, yes, but you also have to live in the moments as well.
But like, you could live in the moment thinking long term, you know?
I agree. That's what I mean. So I understand people who are constantly, planning their future and want to say, hey, look, this is my 5-year plan, my 10-year plan.
Yeah.
But if you're super hyper focused on that, when you to the point where you forget about how to live life.
Well, it depends. You got to do what makes you happy.
Yes.
If you love computer programming, you can focus on that as long as it makes you happy. If you love real estate, then focus on that, hyper focus on it as long as it makes you happy.
Mm-hmm. But in those moments, go out. Once in a blue moon, go out. Fucking be irresponsible once
But
in
you
a
have to find passion and love along the way, right? Like let's say for you fun is like going out on the weekends and like going to a bar. But then maybe for someone fun could be meeting with clients and actually having a strong relationship with these clients and
Yes.
closing the deal. That could be their equivalent of going on a night out, right?
Mhm.
I know a bunch of people that work 9 to 5s over 40 hours, 80 hours actually, and they just can't wait for the weekend to come.
That's not a good cycle to be in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What you want to do is you want to be in a position where you are excited every day to wake up and go to your 9 to 5 because you're doing what you're passionate about and you love to be hyper focused, right?
The question becomes, is that too idealistic?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No.
Because, look,
That's always been done. Throughout history, humans have always specialized in something, right? We've had blacksmiths, bakers, butchers, farmers that they've specialized in this their entire life.
but how many people actually enjoy it? Specialization does not exactly equate to enjoyment.
Well, that's why you gotta find what you like. I really believe that people have special abilities. Like everyone is unique, and they all have special abilities.
Mhm.
And you have to find that special ability and talent, and then just maximize it.
I mean,
I probably can't do what you can do, and there's probably something you can't do that I can do, and we all have to just find out. There's a reason we're here on this earth. There's a
Yep.
reason everyone is unique, and that's because we all bring something unique to the table,
this is
and
true.
we should figure it out and just maximize it, and
Yeah.
we'll be extremely happy.
I think that's the beauty of your 20s. You spend the entirety of your 20s figuring it out.
Figuring out.
I think that's the thing that most people forget. I think not just in your 20s, but for the rest of your life, you're still figuring shit out.
Yeah.
Even in your 40s, 50s, to say that you know everything is just your ego talking. I've known people who are 30s, and somehow I'm more mature than them.
Right.
It's bizarre. It doesn't make no damn sense to me. But it is what it is. Like, I know people who are I talk to a lot of people that's at least like 1-2 decades older than me.
Right.
Right, so I have a lot of this, not my life experience, but their life experience imprinted on me. And what I realize is that even if you're old as shit, and old for me is like 40, 50 years old,
Mm-hmm.
right? For those people, they're not old.
I say that's young.
Yeah.
I think
say
old,
like
old
70.
is like the moment you're on hospice bed. That's old.
I mean, I define old to when your
As
body.
long as you can get up and walk.
I mean, I say
You're
old is
good.
when you can't pull 2 all-nighters without having like detrimental consequences.
Old is like the last minute before you're on this earth. That's old.
That's ancient. That's dinosaur ages.
Ancient's when you're gone already. The minute after you're gone, then you're ancient.
Oh, but it's a mindset. Like old, young, it's all a mindset. I know people who are like 60 years old and they still work like they're 20,
Right.
which is fucking inspiring.
Actually, what I've heard, this might be a little bit sad, but what I've heard from older people is like you feel still young. You feel young. You feel like you're still in your 20s. You
Yeah.
still have that personality, but you're trapped in like a older body.
Yep.
Wait, were you? Yeah. Who said that? I remember someone said that.
I don't. It was on
Really?
TikTok or Instagram.
Oh, okay, okay.
And then another similar example is like dogs. You see dogs, they age quicker than us.
Mm-hmm.
And dog owners that have old dogs, they say how like the older dog still kind of acts like how they did when they were puppies, like that personality's still there, but it's kind of sad seeing the older dog try to do what they did
when they were young.
when they were young, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you should never lose that immaturity.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when I'm 70 years old, I'm still gonna shoot my best friend and water gun in the face. Just for shits and giggles. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, like one of the best money I spent $180 on a electric water gun.
I remember you
feel
posted
feel free to come by and like.
Should have brought them here. Get the mic sweat.
It is cold outside. I ain't gonna lie. I shot my neighbor's kid, my landlord's kid. In the
Oh,
face.
what? Yo, breaking news.
Super
Shame.
super nice. Yeah, like no, I was acting like a child, but in that moment, in that like half an hour of acting like a child, is fun. Like,
Yeah.
in that brief moment, I forget about all my problems, forget about all my issues,
Right,
forget
right,
who
right.
I am, and we're just having fun.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, though. I think it's easier for men than it is for women acting immature, because men are typically more secure enough to be immature.
Yeah.
Like, I'll crack stupid jokes, like stupid immature jokes,
Oh.
like around like 50-year-olds,
I
and
feel like we take more risk.
we definitely do. We take more risks, and we just crack stupid jokes. We act like I'm gonna act like a childish boy till the day I die.
No.
And honestly, somehow people find that charismatic. I just think that's fun. There's no point acting too damn serious in life. Life is short.
Yeah.
We're all gonna die someday. None of this shit matters. Doesn't matter how much money you make, how many wives you have, how many women you slept with, how much materialistic things you have, how many kids you have. None of this matters. You're gonna die someday. So what's the point of living life under someone else's agenda? Why not
Right.
live life based on your own agenda, doing what you want?
True.
Moral of the story is we're all gonna die someday.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Some people do, some don't.
Oh yeah, I was reading about that.
Some
This-
don't.
What's his name was investing billions of dollars into reverse aging technology. I think it was Bezos.
Mm.
I think there's a lot of people doing that.
Yeah, there's a company who hasn't went IPO'd yet, and like they got super large amounts of funding.
Personally, me, and this is gonna be on the record. You could just, incinerate me and then spread my ashes in the Amazon forest, if it still exists by the time I'm old. If we haven't cut down every tree. But if you guys want to move on from this topic, I know you said you were in real estate. So what do you think New York City? What do you think about the current state of New York City? Do you think we've recovered from COVID, or do you think we're still in a bad position after COVID?
It's a very good question. I haven't been in the game since last November. I'll put that out.
But like in terms of what you see when you walk around, you go day to day life, what you hear on the news. Like I feel like the city's getting worse. We're paying high taxes, right? A lot of the policies that politicians have made aren't really working, right? We dedicate millions of taxpayer dollars to try to fight homelessness and drug users, and that's really not helping.
It depends on who you are. I'll be completely frank. If you're looking to buy an investment property, New York City is probably one of the last places I would recommend.
Mm-hmm.
Just based on the taxes, the laws. But if you do it intelligently, you can make it work.
Yeah.
Right. If you have the extra capital, you can realistically make it work. But I think interest rates last time I checked was 6.9. And I had a couple clients. Most people who live in New York City are in their 20s to 30s or 40s if they're still single.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just working. I only recommend you to buy real estate in New York City if it's for you and you're working and you actually need the location. If you have a remote job, work in Florida, bro. Get a condo in Florida for like $500K. You can get a proper 1-bedroom. In New York City, you can barely get a studio.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned remote work because we're still not up to 100% of being back in the office.
We never will.
Or you think we never will?
I think we never will, bro.
What do you think?
Yeah,
Kev?
I agree because it just brings this level of conveniency and just this level of efficiency that you can never get by being in person. So I think that remote time that we had made people realize that. And then that's why after that, like, it's all about being as efficient as possible. And that is being more efficient in certain ways. So, I agree.
It's simpler than that.
I agree.
It's money. Think of it this
Yeah,
way.
money too.
If you can save money on brick and mortar, spending like fucking $30K on an office a month, where do you save that money?
Right.
right? Get an office that's half the size of that, with only the people who you actually need, and
Yeah.
everyone else be remote doing whatever they do.
But now, do you think being a remote worker makes you less productive? Because there was a index that came out that said that productivity in the United States declined,
Oh,
and one of the reasons attributed to that is due to remote work.
I can see that, definitely.
Oh,
Yeah, I can see that.
And I think this also goes back to us, our generation, being less connected. How are you supposed to connect with older people or more higher superiors in your workplace when you're not seeing them in person and you're not walking
Right.
down the same halls as them?
That's how the Matrix puts you down, bro.
right.
What I've noticed is that the difference between the super elite and the rest of it is constantly growing. The people who the haves and have-nots, is just constantly growing. Like, you see some of the people who have like the level of income, the level of success that you want to, their connection that they have with the rest of the world is just not there. They live in an absolute bubble, bro.
Mm.
For example, yachts. Yachts aren't boats, bro. The only way for a yacht to move locations is for another boat to pull it.
Hmm.
So imagine, and these people,
Wait, why can't the yacht move by itself?
it's just too big. I don't know. I don't know the exact science of the technology behind it, but the way they move is they have to tow it.
A tugboat, probably.
But what
Get
I
my
was
yacht to
my
move the other yacht.
my point being is that, let's say for example, a concert, right? EDC or whatever concert you can think of. Let's say if someone rich, someone from a yacht goes to the EDC concert because they have to do some kind of business there, automatically they jack up the price. Like, for them, like, spending $3K on a ticket means nothing. Like, it's like us spending like $3 on the bacon and cheese, which it doesn't exist
It's
anymore.
$5.50.
Yeah, it doesn't exist anymore. But damn, it's like fucking $5.
Yeah,
now.
$5 or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That makes me feel old. Like, remember
$3
bacon, egg, and cheese just with $3?
damn.
But yeah,
$2.75, $2.50.
I was.
Back.
Oh shit! Remember when $1 can actually get you lunch?
Oh man.
Besides the point. But think about it. They go there and they jack up the prices. I went to EDC for the first time last year. It's one of the biggest EDM concerts in the world. Didn't know what it was. Very spontaneous. My boy called me. I was like, all right, fuck it, let's do it. Didn't know what EDC was until I got there. Besides the point. I went there and I was looking around. Like, we got the VIP seats and it cost like $1,500 a pop, like, just for the tickets, right?
Damn.
And within the VIP, there was still more like exclusive tickets,
Mhm.
right? And mostly the nice thing about VIP is that we get nice toilets
Mm.
and we get Wi-Fi. That's pretty much it.
Nice.
I got my hair braided, which is cool.
Wait, that's a service that was offered to you?
Yeah,
or-
for free. Like, yeah, you pay VIP, you pay the extra premium. Like, realize that, like, the more money you have, the more things come free to you.
Mhm.
Think about
Wow.
it. Like, let's say if you're a high profile client and I make suits, right? You're worth, like, I don't know, $3 billion. You're a hedge fund manager working at
JJ Gotti Incorporation.
JJ Gotti Incorporated, right? I'm a tailor. And I make exquisite suits. All my suits are 10, 20K a pop. I approach him, I'm like, hey, let me come down to my office. Let me take your measurements. I'll make you a suit. See what you like. On the house, if you like, you come back, you buy more suits, but you make me exclusive, and give me all your friends and everything, right? You just got a free suit.
Yeah.
But in my eyes, I'm making business,
Right.
right? It's just the way the world works. Like, law of attraction, bro. If you already have it, you're gonna get more.
Yeah, true. And if I don't like the suit, I'll be like, let
You
me
be-
get another free suit. Then I have 2 suits for free.
No, you probably have like 3 other tailors around you doing the same shit I'm doing.
So that's the plan. You get 3 different tailors. They all make you free suits. And then, boom, you have 3 different suits. And you don't have to spend any money. And then anytime you want a new suit, you go find a tailor that's willing to do it for you for free.
But okay, but then you do that. Eventually, you're gonna find tailors that are not too very good.
If you want a really nice suit, go to Thailand, bro. You can spend like
Thailand.
$300 American money for whatever equipment for a 20K suit
He said
in America.
time.
Is it time?
Yeah.
What time is it?
Yeah, he just. Right, sorry, man.
305.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll wrap up a little bit and we'll go.
So yeah, I mean it's a 1 hour mark anyway. So I mean, I guess to finish it off, I guess like what would be one piece of advice you would have for like people trying to come up in this generation and this
I like
time
that.
and age?
Let's go around and do that. I'll start first.
Yeah.
Go to the fucking gym.
No jokes.
No, I'm serious.
Oh, yeah.
My next YouTube video is the solution to all your problems.
Yeah.
Go to the gym, or that's the beginning of everything.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. Going to the gym definitely, and I think that also ties into what I would say. What my piece of advice would be, which would be to be not don't be afraid to put yourself out there in any type of situation, like whether it's networking events, whether it's even going out to the club or a bar, even if it's not your thing, right? Like at least find that experience. So you say like, oh, I have this experience under my belt. I understand like how I can maneuver these type of situations, because I see it as a way where if you have overall experience with many different things, there's not anything that could come up to you that's gonna like startle you or make you like become, how would you say, like startle you, right? Or something that will make you like slip up. Like you have gone through so many different experiences in your life that you can deal with pretty much anything. And if you do that, especially at a young age where you can afford to do that, right? Basically risk free, right? You can
Pretty
do
much.
all of that risk free. By the time you're older, like there's nothing that could get in your way of you reaching your goals.
And the amount of confidence you build in that process.
Yeah, exactly. And that's another thing. You'll build that confidence in the process of doing that. So that's what I would say.
J God?
My advice would be drink plenty of water. I see a lot of people nowadays are very dehydrated.
This is
Right,
true.
my brother.
So you gotta stay hydrated. I know sometimes you have a stressful day, a long day, but you gotta remind yourself to love yourself and drink that cup of water, to feel refreshed.
This is true. I don't drink enough. All right, gentlemen. Let the crew know. I think my phone ran out of storage. But let the crew know where we can find you. Instagram, LinkedIn if you want.
LinkedIn, Kevin Reyes 83. IG, you can follow me at K_SAVV_. And that's good. Integrated workouts also.
You can't find me, I'll find you.
I like that. All right, I'll link all that in the description below. And yeah, that's it.
Man,
Thank you, Shaq, for having us.
Cheers.
Hope to be on this again.
All right.
Say that. Oh, god damn. That's like, you feel that?
Good
It's like,
boys.
yo, good work, my boy.
That's an hour. I didn't even realize.
Yeah, that's a whole hour of work, bro. Well, not really work, but talking that shit.
Yeah, I feel like we were. I don't know about me, but I feel like we could structure the podcast a bit more.
Yeah, we were talking a lot of.
Oh yeah, but this is my second episode. I haven't
Yeah.
finalized everything yet.
I know we had like that Google Docs sheet that we probably deviated from. OD.
It's all good.
It's bro. Those are just references. You don't need to like. Nothing that I do is as of right now is concrete. And honestly, I
But,
like the fact that we freestyle more.
Yeah, I like it too. But, like,
Yo,
what
so
I
your
told,
phone stopped recording?
I think it went dead. What does it say?
Oh, do you have a charger?
Yeah.
Fuck, I forgot. But like, yeah, what I was telling Kev is like.
It was still recording.
It's still recording.
It was at low power mode. That's
Oh
why.
shit! All right, that went good.
Yeah, like I was telling Kev, the reason I think we should do different segments.
You stopped recording, Shane?
Yeah, stop recording.